Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to a new video today on In the Stars. So today's video is going to be about Aquarius Pisces Cusp. So let's get into the video. So if you're born on the Pisces, Aquarius Cusp or Aquarius Pisces Cusp, or if you're just want to know about the Aquarius Pisces Cusp, then that's at the mid-February to end of February, if you will. Almost to the exact end, but not the exact end. But anyway, as I always say, there's many different interpretations out there on where the cusp exactly lies. For the most part, the cusp lies at 3 days at the end of one sign and 3 days at the beginning of another sign. But I know some people might be like, well, I'm born on this day. I was told I'm a cusp. As I said, there's many different interpretations. So that so not to say that you're not exactly on the cusp, but that doesn't say that you might still have some of that cusp energy, but not exactly. You get what I'm saying? So anyway, like I said, my interpretation is 3 days before, 3 days after. 3 days at the end of one sign, and 3 days at the beginning of another sign. So anyway, Aquarius on the cusp of Pisces. As I said, this means that they are coming at the middle to the close to the end of February. And these Aquarians will be more sensitive because of that Pisces water, because of, Pisces are, as we said, if you watch my Pisces video, if you already know that Pisces are one of the most sentimental, one of the most emotional, because they have that water element, because they have that changeability in them from their mutable energy, because of their ruling planet being Neptune. So when you give that energy off, or that influence off into Aquarius, you have Aquarians who are more in tune with their emotions, more in tune with their intellect. You see what I'm saying? Because Aquarians are already known to be intellectual people, already known to be analyzers and communicators. So they will be able to express their emotions better. You see what I'm saying? They'll be able to communicate those emotions, those feelings of what they feel, and they will do it. They will let you know how they feel in a heartbeat, if that makes sense, because they're already talkers, they're already communicators. So now you give them some emotion, and now you put some emotion in with that. They're gonna express that. They're gonna let you know how they feel. You see what I'm saying? So also the Aquarians will be more, as I said, they will be more in tune with their emotions on an intellectual level. So they will be able to intellectually express how they feel and intellectually come up with ideas based on their emotions, if that makes sense. You see? So yeah, and they will also be more adaptable in a way. You get me? Because they will be more, because of that mutable energy that's coming from Pisces. It is influencing the Aquarius cusp. So they will have that more. They will be more adaptive, more changeable. And Aquarians can already be changeable sometimes because of their air, because of their ruling planet, which is Uranus. So Uranus is the planet of change. You get me? So, but Aquarians are also a fixed sign. So now when you bring in that Pisces cusp energy, they can even change more. They can even be more changeable. you know. So they can be more changeable in the way they think. They can be more changeable in the way they communicate. They can be more changeable when it comes to their emotions. You know, they can be more changeable with their goals and their long-term dreams because of that. Because of their ruling planet Uranus is about long-term dreams and goals as well. They could be more changeable when it comes to their friends or social groups or large groups, because that's also something that is associated with the 11th house and with the 11th house. So all of these things that they can be more changeable with. They can be more in tune emotionally in those things too. Feel more sentimental value in those things in a way at the same time. You know, feel more sentimental value in being revolutionary in a way, in revolting against things. Not necessarily that they're going to be a revolutionist, as I was saying before when in my Aquarian video. Not necessarily saying they're going to start a revolution, if you will, and take over the world or something like that. But they might have those. Some of them might have those feelings at the same time. But just revolting against things in general, they'll feel more emotional about those things. They can tie those emotions. So if you will, these will be your stronger individuals as far as when it comes in terms to revolting against things. They will feel more tied into doing those things. They will feel more emotional about it, more sensitive about it, because of that water influence from Pisces that's giving off to them. See what I'm saying? So they can also be they can also be more, they can also just be more just more outspoken because they have so much emotion in them. And don't forget that if you watch my deacon video, or if you are even familiar with different deacons, then you know that the third deacon of Aquarius sub-ruling planet is Venus. Venus is the planet of love and attraction. But as I always say, it's attraction to all things. So now you have them. Now you have somebody who's super determined or super passionate. That's what the word I'm looking for. Super passionate about what it is that they want. When you don't forget, 11th house, long-term dreams, goals, friends, social groups. You know. So those things, they can be, as I was saying, they can be highly passionate. This brings a highly passionate person. Is these Aquarians on the cusp of Pisces, highly passionate about things, have deep passion. Now you tie in that 12th house, which is coming from Pisces. So you tie that in, and that brings in mysticism, mystery. Which is also coming from Neptune as well. It's mystery, mysticism, occult, psychic. So these Aquarians will also can be more prone to being psychic or having psychic experiences or supernatural experience. Remember, unseen forces, unseen, the unexplained, which is coming from the 12th house of which is just coming from, which is an influence of the 12th house, which Pisces have. So as we're talking about Aquarius on the cusp of Pisces, that influence is shining on them as well. So these things translate to them as well. So when it comes in terms of their intelligence, or when it comes in terms of the way they communicate, or their goals, or how they want to revolt against things, they can have a more, as I was saying, more passionate, but also feeling more spiritual about it, because Neptune is also influencing spirituality. So they can feel more spiritually engaged in those things. You know what I mean? Feeling like destiny, like this must be a destiny type of thing. Not necessarily saying that they will be spiritual people, but feeling more like this, like I must do this because this is my destiny type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Also, I was saying, yeah, unseen forces or unexplained or mystery and mysticism. They can be tied into occultic things. They can have attraction. Don't forget, sub-ruling planet Venus brings attraction, so they can have more attraction into occultic practices, into psychic things, and not necessarily saying that they will become that again, but they can just be more prone to watching it on TV, like watching something that's tied into spirituality, that's tied into mystery, that's tied into occultic stuff, or watching it on YouTube, you know. So these are the different things that makes up an Aquarius on the cusp of Pisces. Also, another thing to keep in mind or to look at it is hospitals, asylums, prisons. This is also things that are associated with the 12th house. Hidden enemies, things like that. So this influence will also shine on Aquarius on the cusp of Pisces, you know. So they can, for example, they can let their mouth get them into have them have hidden enemies, kind of like what I was explaining on the Pisces video, if you go back and watch that, because Aquarians are known to be good with their words, good with their you know, with their communication. So because the 12th house is associated with unseen or hidden enemies, if you will, or karma and those types of things, this can translate to Aquarians in those kinds of ways. This can translate to someone in large groups backstabbing them or wanting to backstab them because of the 11th house is associated with large groups, which is, as I keep saying, which is Aquarius placement or what Aquarius this is tied into, because they're the 11th zodiac sign. Also this can lead to them. This can lead to these Aquarians being more, as I was saying, they'd be more passionate, more sentimental. So they might want to use their intelligence for things. This can make them wanting to take fields as far as being like leading scientists to find out the cure about something or something of that nature. See, because hospitals, as I said, so they want to help for the greater good, but they also want to make change, as I was saying, as their ruling planet wants to do, as that mutable energy wants to do. You know what I mean? So, and they also want their freedom as well. So these are a bunch of different things to look for when you're talking about an Aquarius on the cusp of Pisces. Some other things to take into account for is that, as I was saying, their sub-ruling planet, because they fall into the third decan, and their sub-ruling planet would be Venus. So with their sub-ruling planet being Venus, and you mix that in with all of those emotions, all of that sentimental energy, all of that intuitive energy, you also have a more loving person. Like, these people will love to love, so to speak. They love to have loving relationships. They love to express their love, even in a communicative way. They love to communicate that love. They love to they want to give that love. And don't forget, Venus is also about building relationships, and the 11th house is also about groups and friends. So they're going to be the lovers out their group, so to speak. Not even necessarily just in an intimate way, but just be the ones be the emotional support of the group, if you will, you know. So but on the flip side to that, these can lead to these Aquarians being more prone to being manipulative, because they can use their intelligence and use their emotions as a way to manipulate, or to try to manipulate things, and that communication to try to manipulate to get things the way that they want them to, you know. Don't forget that Pisceans like to hold stuff in. So these Aquarians can, even though that they're communicative, they can be the type of people to know everything about you, but you might not know much about them, or not as much as you think you initially do, excuse me. But and the reason for that is because they're, keep in mind, as I was saying, manipulative, emotional, knowing how, being in tune, you know, so they, and communicative and intelligent, so they'll be the type of people who can get information out of you, and before you know it, like, you telling them probably your whole life story, you know, and you wonder, like, well, what about you? And you might realize that they didn't reveal much about themselves, but they got that out of you. You get what I'm saying? So these are some of the traits that I have for Aquarius on the cusp of Pisces. And last thing I want to say about Aquarius on the cusp of Pisces, they because of that emotion, remember that bottled up emotion, or just the emotion inside of them, feeling more emotional, feeling more passionate about things, wanting to revolt, things of that nature, wanting change, things like that. These Pisceans can also these Aquarians can also be more prone to having bad tempers, or what they call them, like split hair tempers, or something like that. But pretty much is what I'm saying is they can be more prone to having, you know, outbursts or blowing up because of that extra emotion. So these can, because they're good with their words or whatever, these can be the type to curse you out real quick, probably, you know, or it can be the type to let you have it. Like their words are like swords, you know, because they're so good with them, and they will unleash that on you. You know, if you get on their bad side, they're quick tempered. That's what I'm trying to say, because of that emotion and that change and that revolt and all of those other influences that these Aquarians feel. So Pisces on the cusp of Aquarius will be, you know, when you're talking about the cusp, you're pretty much talking about almost one and the same, but it's a little different. So Pisces on the cusp of Aquarius, they'll be more intelligent Pisceans, you know. They can think things out thoroughly better before reacting on their emotions that they have in them. They'll be more communicative as well. So this, like I said, this will allow them to think things through better. There'll be more of thinkers than more of just being more emotional. Because sometimes people look at emotion as a bad thing, because when they say when you get emotional, you're not thinking rationally, or you're not thinking logically, you're just acting out on your emotions. And this can equate to Pisces in a lot of ways, but Pisces on the cusp of an Aquarius, this can be seldomly different or somewhat different, because they have that Aquarian influence of that air sign, you know, of that air, that communicative energy, of that intellectual energy that's appearing on them. These Pisces can also be more wanting to more prone to change. Now, as we were saying before, that that Pisces, or if you paid it, or if you watched the Pisces video, or if you know about Pisces, Pisces can change frequently or change a lot because of that mutable influence that they have, and because that they are water. You know, water is constantly flowing if it's not fixed, right? So these Pisces will have that more of that changeability in them, because Aquarius ruling planet is Uranus, and one of the traits of Uranus is change. But Aquarius also have our fixed signs, so they will have a little bit of fixed shining their way in. They might not be fixed enough to not being like super changeable is what I'm trying to say, but they will still have somewhat of a stability in them. They will have somewhat of a more persistent energy in them, somewhat more of a determined energy in them, because of that fixed energy that's coming toward their way. So they can, in certain situations, or certain, you know, depending on the situation, they can feel more stable in their emotions. They can feel more stable in the way they feel for things. You know, feel more stable in their passion, and their sentimental energy, how they feel for things. And their emotions, all of that. So but they can still be prone to being very changeable, as I was saying, because they're already associated. Pisces already are big on change, and now that you have Uranus giving them energy of change as well, they can very much be changing, you know, a revolving door, if you will. So another thing to look at is that Aquarius ruling planet, which is Uranus, is the planet of revolution. You know, so this is going to allow these Pisceans to be more emotionally tied to things that are associated with revolution, like anything that has something to do with revolting against something. You know, so they can be, they can be more tied into politics, if you will, or more tied into, or just anything with revolting. Like I was saying before, it just doesn't necessarily have to be something with law and order or politics, but that can be as well. But it's just anything in a form when it comes to revolting. These Pisceans can also be more revolting when it comes to, this can conflict some of their already energy. This can let them revolt towards spirituality or certain spiritual practices, because keep in mind, Neptune is their ruling planet. So Neptune, one of the energies that Neptune brings is spirituality. And combine that with Uranus, so they can naturally want to revolt or change, as Uranus is as well, is against spirituality, certain forms of spirituality, or even all spirituality. Some of them can feel like atheists, if you will. You know, another thing is that they can, this can conflict them with their emotions, because with somebody who's constantly changing their emotions is like unsure of themselves. They're not sure how to feel, or sure if their feelings are necessarily valid. So less confidence. This can also bring into less confidence for them. Sometimes these are just some of the bad or negative things to look for when you're talking about a Pisces on the cusp of Aquarius. But as I was saying, it would be highly more intellectual, and because they can blend that intellect with their spiritual abilities or with their psychic abilities, their intuitive abilities, they can, as I was saying, they can channel that emotional energy in them, if you will. But as I say, it always depends on how each individual person's chart is set up. If it's positive, if this is a positive placement for them, or if it's a negative. But it depends on your whole chart as well. Another influence that Neptune brings is innovation, genius, things that's kind of associated with those types of things, creative. Because when you're talking about change, anytime you're changing something, you're creating something else, right? So these Pisceans can be, as I already stated before in my Pisceans videos, Pisceans are one of the most, if not the most artistic or creative signs out the zodiac. So this will allow these Pisceans to be very great have very great creativity, ability, skills. They will be very creative, very because of that emotion, because of that intuitive, they have a great feel for things. And then now you bringing in this Uranus influence, which is also associated with creativity and innovation and things. They can be highly creative, very have a very good knack for artistic value or seeing things in an artistic way. Another thing is that they're in the first decan, so that their ruling and sub-ruling planet is Uranus, so that they will have very strong psychic abilities, or be very highly in tune with everything. So they're more likely to be empaths. If most what empaths are, these are psychic abilities that allow you to feel others' emotions, or others emotions in a nutshell. Also, because these Pisceans have that influence of that air and communication, they won't be as mysterious as other Pisceans. Because Pisceans, as I was stating in my Pisceans video, is that Pisceans can be mysterious. So, but because of that communicative energy that's giving off from Aquarius into Pisces, these Pisceans can be less mysterious in a way, because of because they're more open, more open with their emotions, more open with their feelings. Another thing is that I was talking about Aquarians being more quick-tempered because of that Piscean influence. Now, so imagine a Pisces on the cusp of Aquarian. Now they're really going to be quick-tempered, because don't forget, the planet Uranus is also associated with, influence energy brings erratic behavior. So you combine that in with their already quick-tempered selves, then erratic behavior, they can flip on you in a second, and you won't, before you even know what happened or know what's coming, And so this is something else that's associated with Pisces on the cusp of Aquarius. Can be more in tune to their dreams, their goals. So that means that these Pisceans will be more ambitious people, so they can use that creativity in a more ambitious way, because the 11th house from Aquarius is associated with dreams and goals. So they can be more in tune to those things. They can be more in tune, or use their emotional or psychic energy or influence towards large groups and friends, so they can be more they can be more they can even be more friendlier people, because keep in mind, if a person is naturally emotional, that means, or sentimental to others' feelings, they're going to be naturally friendly. So these Pisces can be even more friendlier, have more friends, because of that 11th house energy that's giving off into these Pisces. Something else to look for is that these Pisceans might they might use their brains more. As I was saying, that intellect might use that more for when it comes to things associated with the 12th house, like hospitals and hospitals and prisons and asylums, things like that, or unseen forces, or people who have misfortune, or even themselves. They might tie that intellect into those things, might tie their emotions more into those things, because of that intellect, can use their voice for those things. So they can they'll possibly make great at even being great, make great speech people who speak up for others, if you know what I mean, like some type of activist. This would be good for either the Aquarius on the cusp of Pisces, or the Pisces on the cusp of Aquarius. Because remember, revolution. So all of these things are associated with Pisces on the cusp of Aquarius. And then the last thing is that they can even be tied into more mysterious groups, or more spiritual or occultic groups, because keep in mind, we're talking about large groups, large social groups from the 11th house, from Aquarius. And then mysterious and occultic and spiritual from the 12th house, or from Neptune, from Pisces. So when you combine that, they can be more prone to being a part of those things, more prone to putting their emotions into those things, or more prone to using their intelligence to help them achieve certain goals, to achieve certain dreams. You get what I'm saying? To make certain changes. So you see what I'm saying? So yeah, so this is all that I have for you on Aquarius on the cusp of Pisces. So I hope you guys liked the video. As always, if you did, press the like button. Click the subscribe button if you want to stay in tune for future videos. Click the description box if you want to see my social medias, and follow me on those. Write in the comment section box down below to let me know how you all feel. I hope you guys liked it. As always, thank you for your time, and until next time, peace and love, y'all.